Abu Bakr said they entered to the ghar and he closed all the holes of snakes. There's a big cave. Go to Paramp now and find a cave and sleep there. Go and come back tomorrow if you come back. Those holes of snakes, poisonous and venomous. Abu Bakr Siddiq, he cut in the clothes and closing all this, and one of them could not close. He closed with his knee and stuff. And the Prophet ﷺ fall asleep. Why? The Umar ibn al-Khattab, he used to say, Abu Bakr Sayyiduna wa a'taqa Sayyidana. Look at Umar ibn al-Khattab is from a big tribe, claimed of this Quraysh. He used to say, Abu Bakr is our master, and he freed our master, Bilal ibn Rabah. He's a beautiful man. Wallah, his heart is more than, sometimes we see the people, the face, I says, don't, the heart. إن الله ينظر لا ينظر إلى أجسامكم ولا إلى صوركم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. Allah does not look at the body, the skin, the money, but He looks at the heart. And see what is in the heart, this is only Allah knows. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, which one I was going to say, Hijrah. And we close with the Hijrah. You know, I can talk with you till Fajr about Abu Bakr Siddiq. Hijrah, the Prophet sent everybody is leaving. Umar ibn Khattab left everybody, and the Prophet Abu Bakr Siddiq, he says, Ya Rasulullah, he's hoping that the Prophet will tell him, you are going to go with me, but he cannot supersede al-Wahy. They used to fear al-Wahy, leave alone, leave Allah. The Prophet he says, just wait. Abu Bakr Siddiq, when the Prophet says, just wait, we don't know. We have to receive the order from Allah. But he's smart again. Look at the intelligence. He already prepared the way. Where are we going to go? Where are we going? We're going to go to this cave. We're going to go the opposite direction of Medina. Medina, you go this way. We're not going to go this way. Look at the intelligence. We're going to go this way now. So the Quraysh, they cannot kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he knows he's going to Medina. Islam, that's why you are Muslim now. They want to stop this Islam. They couldn't. So they have to plan. Abu Bakr Siddiq told his family, this is what you do. He took it to his daughter, you bring the food to the cave at night, this time and this time. He talked to Abdullah, you go to Mecca and see what's the news and bring us the news at night. He tells the Ra'i of Abu Bakr Siddiq, his Ra'i, his shepherd. He says, when we walk to the cave, you bring the ghanam, the sheep, and wipe the steps, the atar, so the people didn't know. We just go planning, not just like this. Allah could have do to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam like He does to other prophet. He take him with Buraq. He took him to Isra al-Mi'raj. He could take him, but He's teaching you and me. Plan for business, for your family, for you. They plan. Abu Bakr Siddiq spend the money. The 2 camels right there. You know when they have 2 camels, the Prophet ﷺ one day came, knocked the door. Who opened the door? His daughter, Abu Bakr Siddiq's daughter, Aisha. She opened the door. She saw the Prophet. Ya Rasulullah. She says, oh my father, Abu Bakr Siddiq. جاءنا رسول الله في وقت لم يكن يأتينا فيه. The Prophet Muhammad came on a time that he never came on it. This is the time of going to migration now. ففتح الباب فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أخرج ما عندك في الدار. Don't let anybody hear what I'm going to tell you. He says, Ya Rasulullah, this is your family and my family is your family. He says, okay, nobody else? He says, nobody else. He says, then you know what he said? Abu Bakr Siddiq, he says, Ya Rasulullah. He couldn't wait until the Prophet will tell him what's going to happen. He said, As-suhba, I am going with you for migration. He says, yes, you are going with me. He says, Ya Rasulullah, I have 2 camels. He says, I pay for mine. The Prophet paid for his camel. And they went for migration. They went to the ghar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this in the Quran. إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. This is the only human being that Allah praised in the Quran 2 times or 3, the ulama they say. He says, إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ, O people of Quraysh, if you do not give him victory, إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. Allah will give him, nasarahu means in the past, Allah already gave him a victory. And then he said, ثانية اثنين, second with him, Abu Bakr Siddiq. ثانية اثنين إذ في الغار. They are in the cave, 2 people are in the cave. ثانية اثنين. What up to? The ulama they say ثانية اثنين. They don't have this in English, by the way. They only the second of the two. They say, like, I went to see the second of the two. It's a prayer. There are only two people. ثاني اثنين Abu Bakr wa Umar. Allah is praising the ghar. Umar ibn al-Khattab, he used to say, Wallahi la laylatan. One night with the Prophet on the cave of Hira, the day of Hijrah, of the migration, خير من عمر وأهل عمر وكل شيء. It's better than Umar and all family of Umar. One night. Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, may Allah be pleased with him, she said, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, yes, as-suhba, you are going to go with me, فبكى أبو بكر الصديق بكاء شديدا من الفرح. He cried extreme tears coming from happiness. He says, ما رأيت, Aisha, she said, I have never seen anyone who cries out of love and out of happiness. He cries more than I see. She said, Abū Bakr, because she was teaching ilm. She didn't say my father, she said Abū Bakr. Aisha, I have never seen somebody who was extreme. You know what this rihla, this traveling, it means they are going to die. He's happy. I'm happy to die for Allah. I'm happy to die for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, let me go to the ghar. He says, stay away. Abu Bakr said they entered to the ghar and he closed all the holes of snakes because a big cave. Go to Paramp now and find a cave and sleep there. Go and come back tomorrow if you come back. It was holes of snakes, poisonous and venomous. Abu Bakr Siddiq, he cut in the clothes and closing all this, and one of them could not close. He closed with his knee and stuff. And the Prophet ﷺ fall asleep. Why? Because طمأنينة. The Prophet ﷺ knows by Allah nobody's going to catch him. But Umar, إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن. The Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet tells him in the cave, Ya Abu Bakr, don't have grief. He didn't say, the ulama, he did not told him, La takhaf. We don't have time to go details, but he didn't tell him, La takhaf. La takhaf is a humiliation to Abu Bakr Siddiq. I'm not afraid. I am hazeen. There's a difference between khawf. That's why English doesn't show you this on translations. Allah did not say on the Quran, إِذْ يَقُولُ لِصَاحِبِهِ لَا تَخَفْ. Don't fear. No. He says, La tahzan. I am not afraid to die, but I am hazeen if anything happened to Rasulullah. That's what that means. The ayah has emotional in it that removed by the translation. La tahzan. إِذْ يَقُولُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَنَا. Allah is with you and me. فَأَنزَلَ سَكِينَتَهُ عليه. Allah descended His tranquility upon whom? The ulama, they say upon Abu Bakr Siddiq. Why? Because the Prophet already has sakina. He doesn't need it. And the reason he was sleeping on the thigh of Abu Bakr Siddiq. And Abu Bakr Siddiq got hidden by the venomous poison. Some scorpion bite him and he starts crying. And the tears came. You know what he cried? The ulama, wallah, I love this, to follow this. He didn't cry that he's going to die. He cried that he's going to die, may die, without saying Salamu Alaikum too, because the poison was coming on his body. That he may die, and the Prophet was sleeping on his thigh. He starts crying, I may die without saying Salamu Alaikum to my beloved Rasulullah. And the Prophet's tears came onto his cheek, because he was sleeping. Look at the friendship between Abu Bakr Siddiq and Umar ibn al-Khattab. You need to have a friend. Sometimes it's good to have a good friend that loves you for the sake of Allah. Not for your money, not for your wealth, not for your job, nothing. For Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ woke up, he says, Ya Abu Bakr, why you cry? He said, I was beaten by the scorpion or a venomous thing, and I found there is something in my body. I might die when I say Salaam Alaikum or something. The Prophet said, what does it show me? Spit on it, shifa and dua of the Prophet ﷺ. La yuraddu min Allah. Allah will never, and we have many stories like this. The Prophet make dua for you. Whatever marad you have, whatever sickness you have, it may go away. This is because he's connected with Allah. Anyway, until the Prophet's next time, inshallah, we will finish more about this beautiful superstar, like I said at the beginning. Unfortunately, some people was not with us at the beginning of this amazing superstar of Islam, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Abdullah ibn Uthman ibn Quhafa at-Taymi. Abdullah, his name is Abdullah. Let's return, I'm just kidding. Let's start from the beginning. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to, if you want one more hadith, I tell you one more hadith and we go. Because I know people don't want to go. Abu Bakr, man. A man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, Ya Rasulullah, Mata sa'a? I mentioned this hadith in Jumu'ah, but today different people. He says, Mata Sa'a, what's the time of, people are asking about what Mata Sa'a. The Prophet says, Ma a'datta laha. What did you prepare for it? You ask about the hour. The hour could be 1,000,000 years, it could be 20,000 years, we don't know. He says, what have you prepared? Because the Prophet says, Man mata qamat qiyamatuh. If you die, your qiyamah is there. So it could be tomorrow your qiyamah. So the Prophet says, what have you prepared for the day of judgment? He says, Wallahi, I am weak, nothing other than I love you, I love Allah and I love you. أني أحب الله وأحبك. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنت مع من أحببت. You are amongst the people who you love. Go check yourself. Do you love Allah? Do you love Abu Bakr al-Siddiq? Do you love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Just somehow, or you love people on this TikTok, or maybe some famous people somewhere, and say, the Prophet ﷺ says, أنت مع من أحببت. You are going to be resurrected with the people whom you love. Anas ibn Malik, he says in this hadith sahih, he says, Wallahi, there is no hadith that we love other than this. أنت مع أحببت. And we love Rasulullah. We are going to be with him. Even though you may not reach to this level, but just love them sincerely, it will take you that far with them. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. سلام على المرسلين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خير.